grade. For our next project, we are going to be painting an illustration. An illustration is a picture that is trying to tell a story. Okay, you usually hear that word used with books. An illustrated book is obviously pictures that are trying to tell a story. So the theme of the illustrations we're going to be doing is the sea and sea monsters. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, we have this old illustration of this sea creature. Okay, the fun thing with a lot of these old illustrations is that a lot of the creatures that we used to consider mythological, or sometimes sea monsters, ended up being real living things that we've discovered later, like the colossal squid, which is a more recent discovery in Japan, but it used to be this mythological thing that we didn't think was real. But there were stories of people that used to see them, and then eventually we found out that, yeah, they do exist. There's some other famous examples of that too, like the coelacanth, the ancient fish which was thought extinct for many millions of years until we actually found it off the coast of Africa in the deep sea. So we're going to be looking at some illustrations that were made a lot by ancient sailors and travelers and explorers that would draw and paint these images, trying to tell a story of something they saw. So some of them, we do know were exaggerations or maybe not so real, but some of them, like the giant squid here, of course we know giant squids exist. They are a thing that is out there. Their illustration, there's a giant squid. Okay, this is an interesting one because when you look at this creature, it does kind of look like this horrifying monster. This is a rather famous one that is, of course, the narwhal. The narwhal was considered a mythological animal for a long time. People didn't believe the explorers that would come back to their villages and say, "Oh yeah, we saw this sea creature with a unicorn horn on it," and people didn't believe them. But of course, we found out later that yeah, they did exist. Here is a little example of the type of illustration we're going to do based on the sea creatures telling a story about the ocean and something happening there. And you can see that this one is this giant octopus attacking this ship. Okay, so we are going to be thinking of something to say in an illustration. It has to show something happening. So, what is happening? Where is it happening? It has to involve the ocean in some way. Why is it happening? And just showing exactly what is happening. Okay, so we're going to look at how to sketch that out and how to use watercolors and then either Sharpies or ink to add on top to give it a nice illustration look. Hello, friends. Okay, so we're ready to start our illustration. Remember, an illustration is telling a story. And we're trying to use the idea of sea monsters and old sailor illustrations as an inspiration for us. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to make a water line. Maybe I'll have it kind of stormy seas. I won't have it even. I'll have waves along the top. And I think I'll have it near a volcano. So near an island. Have the volcano in the background. And that'll answer the where and what is happening here because we'll see during a volcano, so we know it's over here and it's during a eruption. So maybe we'll have lava exploding out of that volcano. We can add such a little action to the scene. Okay, for my sea monster, I think I'm going to have, let's see, what should we have? A giant nautilus attacking a ship. So a nautilus is a kind of fish, really interesting. We'll start by drawing. So I'm going to have an old-fashioned wooden boat rocking in those waves. So let's start with that. And again, you guys come up with your own ideas for what you want for your scene. This is just an example one. Okay. Let's have mast and sail on there. Okay, this very quickly. Okay, so I've got my ship. Now I want to add a giant nautilus. Okay, so shapes of that. They've got this kind of big armored forehead piece. They've got eyes underneath here. The dots and things I think on there. Just hints of that for later. All these little wiggly arm tentacle kind of things by their mouths. We have those. They have this big round shellish body going around that. Shading there. Okay, so that's a general idea. So he's going up to get that chip, but we want to have a little more. So I think in this picture, I'm going to have giant sea turtle coming to save the day, coming to help sailors in that here. I'm going to have that sea turtle coming in to take a chomp out of that Nautilus, save the people. Let's have him back here. A little texture on his arms. A little bit of the designs on his back. The arm here. And to the back legs. Okay. And then I think I want some detail down under the ocean. I think I'm going to add some seaweed, maybe a little bit of floor down here. Definitely if there's a lot of action, probably want some bubbles to show movement in the water. Okay, I don't want to sit here all day drawing while you're taking your time. Okay, so that's my general idea. Okay, so I've got my scene planned out like that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start to paint. Okay, now I'm going to use obviously some blues, but think about the ocean looking underwater. You're going to see lighter blues near the top. As you paint in, think about the color you're using. Maybe use your water to thin it out a little bit more along the top. And then down here, we'll still have some darker blue, but maybe mix in a little black, a little green, especially if it's like a dark Atlantic Ocean. As you go, we're going to go in and we're going to fill in that. Now, don't be afraid. You can add other details, other fish or creatures or mermaids or whatever you want going on down under the ocean. Use your imagination and add what you want in your illustration. Let us water. Okay. And then we're going to add detail to our creatures. So color in some of those the Nautilus had. And some of those little white polka dots they have here. Just getting a general idea of what we're going to be doing. Afterwards, think about the scene itself. You need to think about the time of day. So maybe this is, let's say it's twilight, it's just after sunset. That's when this volcano is going up. So many purples and black for the sky. And add orange, white, yellows, and reds, warm colors to start that magma floating out of the volcano. And just have fun adding the details, keeping on ideas that you want to add. So that's the general idea. You're going to take your time, color, add detail, and then if you have time on the second day especially, you can go back with either a pen or a Sharpie. And what you can do is you can outline the original pencil marks. And that will give you illustrated look. We want an illustration, so we definitely want to show some of the stylistic look of that. Having nice inky black outlines on the pencil work. Not only to cover up the pencil, but also to give some of that style. And it really makes it pop off the page. Okay, you can use marker, pen, whatever you have for that, but definitely a dark color like black. All right, friends, that's all for now. Have a great day.